Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Whitney Van Laningham, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever is finally out on Disney+. Watching it up close and personal in your living room gives us the opportunity to scour every single detail, including the intricacies of Ruth E. Carter's Afrofuturistic costume designs. Listening to her recent interview with Ta-Nehisi Coates on the Black Panther Wakanda Forever official podcast revealed tons of interesting behind-the-scenes looks at the way Carter expertly put Wakandan and Tala Camille wardrobes together, and what it means for the characters who wore them. So today, I'm breaking down some costume details you might have missed in Wakanda Forever. If you don't know Ruth E. Carter, she has some incredible artistic accomplishments. Not only has she worked on costuming for over 40 films and series, she was also the first African American and the first Black woman to win an Oscar for her beautiful costume designs in the first Black Panther. She's truly the definition of a genius at her craft, mastering the look of multiple periods and genres in her designs, including the Afrofuturistic aesthetic of Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. Creating costumes for Wakanda Forever was much more challenging than it was for the first BP film. There were the obvious reasons, like the grief felt by the entire crew in the wake of Chadwick Boseman's death. But practicality also required Carter to rethink many of her original Wakandan designs. There are a lot of water scenes in Wakanda Forever, and this presented a unique hurdle, as clothing and other accessories look and behave much differently underwater. She said this about the experience on the BPWF official podcast.
We had to rethink everything. For the Wakandans, the battles in Wakanda had to actually be made so that they could get wet. And they were originally not made that way. We made them with raffia and leather, which does not stand in the water. So there was a lot of thought process about how, when M'Baku jumps into the water, how's he going to swim in that costume?
Taking care of yourself is important, so good thing Geology makes it easy to do. Geology is a 16-time award-winning personalized skincare company recognized in Hypebeast, Birdie, Men's Health, Esquire, and Ask Men Grooming Awards, with over 6,000 five-star reviews. Just take a quick 30-second diagnostic quiz, and Geology will create a simple and effective skincare or hair care routine customized just for you, with ingredients that are dermatologist tested, proven to work, and personalized to your needs. For hair care, Geology's got strengthening shampoo and conditioner and co-wash, which will transform your routine and deliver the best hair of your life. It extends the time between washes and replaces the need for so many products, so you wash your hair less and save money more. They also offer body washes and deodorants that are free of harsh ingredients and smell great. For skincare, they have you covered from all angles. Fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, combat dark or puffy under eyes, have smoother hydrated skin, and target signs of aging. Their daily personalized skincare routine comes with 2 face washes, morning face cream, retinol night cream, and eye cream. And right now, for a limited time, you can get a 5-piece trial set for only $15 if you use code ROCKSTAR70 at checkout. That's over $150 of product for just $15. On top of that, you can take an additional 30% bonus offer on one of their brand new skin, hair, or body products of your choice when you add it to your trial. To get started, just click the link in the description. According to another interview with IndieWire, Carter explained that the Dora Milaje's costumes had to be completely redesigned from their first version from BP1 to function aesthetically and practically in the water. She said, quote, "We had to start from scratch because the Dora costumes were made from leather and beads, so we remade them with silicone rubber basically. Flowier costumes also had to be weighted to ensure they moved properly on camera, and articles or accessories that needed to appear to float had to be tethered to achieve that effect. As for the Jabari tribe, those guys incorporate a lot of fur into their outfits due to the cold climate in their mountain dwellings. No one quite knew how fur would react when it got dunked, and it took several experiments to find the right kind." She also said, quote, "We had to test that costume in a 20-foot tank to see what the hell this fur was going to do in the water. We had to go with all kinds of synthetic fur and dip it in water, sometimes just a glass of water, to see how it would respond. Then there was the issue of water damage to certain fabrics she used in her designs. After creating several different looks for the Tala Camille, she realized that the dye would run after being removed from the water, and added elements like chlorine or salt would cause discolorations. After multiple takes, certain materials would fade or alter and had to be accounted for during filming. When it came time to create costumes for the Tala Camille, Carter spent countless hours of research on Mesoamerican culture and aesthetics to make outfits and accessories as historically accurate as possible within the Afrofuturistic world of Wakanda, creating a new world of Latinx futurism alongside it. As a woman of color, Carter knows all too well what it's like to have Black cultures misinterpreted or misrepresented in media, and wanted to ensure that everything she made for Wakanda Forever was accurate, graceful, and precise.
I want to go back to what you said before, which is now you're bringing in a whole other culture. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you have seen folks get Black culture or Black diasporic culture wrong many, many, many times.
Well, we did develop another roadmap, our own set of files and research on Mesoamerica. And the minute that we were connected with a historian, we started showing them all the stuff we had, everything that we had to just get the first layer sorted out, because I know through Black culture and things that you see in paintings can sometimes be manipulated so that it shows up a one-sided view of things. And they actually eliminated quite a lot of the images that we had.
Did they really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. They were like, this is Aztec, it's not Mayan.
Wow.
This is paintings that were done by the Spaniards that wanted to show the Mayans were inferior. This is a cornfield that would not have existed.
As one of the very first superheroes in Marvel history, Namor's first on-screen appearance had to stand out. Carter worked tirelessly to root his character design in Mayan culture, including his dual-headed feathered serpent neckpiece. The two serpents are open-mouthed with a large pearl in the center, which Carter told the BPWF official podcast represents water. Pearls are also often used as a symbol of wisdom gained through experience, which coincides with Namor's history and life story perfectly. As a child, he learned to distrust colonizers and outsiders from the treatment of his mother and his ancestors, which influenced the way he protected Talokan from the rest of the world. According to Carter, she and Ryan Coogler grappled a little bit on whether or not the neckpiece should include the pearls, but in the end they decided to go with the design. It was also inspired by the Chichen Itza Kukulkan pyramid, which features the feathered serpent god on both sides of its staircase. Namor's feathered headdress, like the rest of the water costumes, also had to be tested several different times with different materials to ensure it maintained its authenticity underwater. They ended up crafting several different versions of it for land and sea, the latter made of silicone. And hey, since the Mayans are credited with the invention of rubber, using alternate textures to accentuate his clothing and accessories was technically historically accurate too. Other accessories of Namor's, like his jade ear spools, were inspired by both Mayan culture and natural elements under the sea, like kelp leaves, fish fins, or bones. She said, quote, "We really dived into whatever there was available to use, including what we felt that they would have made or acquired from their relationship with their distant cousins on land." Carter also faced the somber task of honoring Chadwick Boseman and King T'Challa's memory in the clothes worn at his Wakandan funeral. Grief and loss informed her wardrobe choices, deciding to dress the Wakandan people in white as a celebration of the Black Panther's life. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, she expressed her initial intimidation towards creating all-white clothing that still represented the unique identities of each African region in Wakanda. Experimenting with texture and tone, Carter even silk-screened off-white paint onto pure white fabric. Ultimately, pure white was used most often in these designs to honor Ghana's tradition of wearing all white in mourning. Ramonda's funeral dress featured Ndebele South African symbols all over it, and Shuri's white hood was inspired by a 3D printed runway show that Carter attended in Rome. I just had to have that, so we created this costume hooded cape, but also we printed what represented the heart-shaped herb on the cape. Likewise, Queen Ramonda also had a 3D printed accessory, her Isicholo, a traditional hand-woven South African headpiece worn by married women. And with Wakanda's advanced technology, why wouldn't they have cool-ass 3D printed fashion? For the rest of Queen Ramonda's costume designs, it was important for Carter to give her a look for this movie that evoked her new position of power as opposed to her costume in the first Black Panther. Interestingly, the costume design for her opening address to the UN was originally made for a different scene.
With Angela opening at the UN is a totally different energy to how she opened Black Panther 1. She did have her crown and her shoulder mantle in BP1. It was a softer color. She was, in a traditional look, ready for the King's Ascension challenge at the Warrior Falls. So this time she is the ruler of Wakanda, and I felt like I had done 5 movies with Angela, and her arms have always been unforgettable. And Ryan really wanted her to make a big statement in this scene. I believe this costume that she has on in the UN was actually designed for another scene in my mind, and he selected that for the UN.
Shuri Shuri's clothing was also designed to showcase the heaviness she felt in the aftermath of her brother's death. She and Ryan decided to go with simple gray outfits throughout the film to evoke the feeling of fading into grief. In both the opening scene where she tries in vain to save T'Challa's life and the scene where she takes the heart-shaped herb to become Wakanda's new protector, she's wearing muted gray. These are just some of the behind-the-scenes facts that I found most interesting, but y'all should really go check out the podcast for yourself. The lovely and talented Jessica Clemens also has a video where she goes way more in depth about this stuff, so please watch her vid next. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Whitney Puppy, follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love, and thanks for watching. Bye!